Okay, so I've just been confronted, I have to say, with a speech given by Governor McCain about what happened today in Syria, and there are a couple of things that I just am very that really have to be considered. Now, first of all, the way he speaks about Putin, an elected president of an important country, is absolutely devastating. When we it's actually a kind of rhetoric that we should really think about, because we hear this over and over again. You know, he's a dictator, he's a tyrant, and so on and so on. There is really no substance to that at all, just none. It is you have to learn to look through all that Fox News hatred that you get broadcasted into your brain. It is unbelievable. So what's really the problem in Syria is there is a revolutionary force. It's very comparable, by the way, very comparable with the separatists in Ukraine. And we can see the differences in American and Russian interests, naturally, in taking in Ukraine the side of the official government, and in Syria the side of the rebels. And that should really actually make us think, well, what exactly happened. So let me get to the point quickly here, because I know that you want to hear some facts here. Now, there have been elections in Syria in 2012 that were monitored by the OSCE. That is well, you probably know what that is. I mean, they control elections to make sure that everything's okay, and they've got approved. They've got approved by the OSCE that there was an election. There was a concern that not all parties were allowed to be registered because of the Syrian constitution that has been reformed in, I don't know, a couple of years ago. That would make it impossible for a party that is based on a religion to be electable, basically. So that means Muslim Brotherhood and the Kurdish party have not been able to receive votes through this election. Now, this is a difficult topic, especially because, I mean, we're allies with the Kurds. However, for our Western standards, that makes perfectly sense. We would never allow a non-secular party to have, I mean, that's exactly what we're fighting against, basically, to have states that have Sharia law instead of a secular constitution and all that kind of stuff. It makes perfect sense if you think about it. Now, still, it's also proven that there have been elections. Actually, this war started in 2011, if you're really precise about it, not just recently. And it's not ISIS, by the way. It's a complete different rebel group that we're talking about. Now, this group wants to separate from Assad, and ever since there is a war going on, and what we see now is very important. We're losing grounds in Afghanistan, two religious extremists who were fighting those. We're losing ground on Iraq to ISIS, to religious extremists. And now we have the situation in Syria, where more or less we have different economical reasons to oppose Assad, but basically it makes perfect sense because he's pro-Russian that we oppose Assad, and that's our, those are our reasons. I mean, for Christ's sake, Saudi Arabia has a complete different approach to democracy, to human rights, and so on. Compared to that, Assad is a angel, and believe me, he's not. Just telling you. And so what happens right now is that the American public is prepared for a war with Russia, and we should realize in what kind of proportions we're speaking here, because everybody believes that the strong military force and stuff like that. 13% of U.S. military expenses is what Putin has to arm his forces, okay? 13%. So this is only the U.S. I'm not talking NATO here. So it is overwhelming how the times change. We're not in the Cold War. This is not an equal force whatsoever. And it's also not true, therefore, that anybody would be so stupid to have open aggressions for the sole reasons of war. It just does not make sense. And the relationships that we completely fucked up with Russia after the big chance in the 90s to actually have a mutual system, it's killing me. We have to change the approach of how we look at the world. Those I can't even listen to that. We're still the strongest force on this planet. Yes, we are. Yes, we are. And what does that mean? That we have to go around as bullies and just, influence people in a way, and when I say influence, I mean like forcing solutions by what we think is beneficial, and it's not even what we think is beneficial. It's what our freaking corporations think is beneficial. There is Assad opposes the U.S. dollar, and that's what it's about. That was the same for Gaddafi. Gaddafi was basically a freedom fighter. We got rid of him. We had airstrikes, polluted water with airstrikes we had there. Killed, countless of. It's ongoing. Countless of civilians, and I now hear Fox News saying stuff like, well, we already have the first pictures of children being carried out of hospitals. Well, I hate to tell you, but we have those pictures every day from Gaza. I don't even know if that's happening anymore. You just hear something like that there was an Israeli airstrike in Gaza, or some kind of military strike in Gaza this morning because of a rocket that was intercepted. So nobody realizes anymore, does this stuff really happen? Because the interception is obviously so good that there's no Israeli citizen that would even realize in any way that there has been an attack of some kind. So frankly, I slowly doubt that this stuff is even happening. But it could. I'm just, I'm not saying that it didn't happen. I'm just telling you this is our we have different standards for everything in our world, and we should have reason of how the American influence should be taking place in this world, because I don't want to tell my children that we completely destroyed everything, we have no more friends, we completely fucked up, and everybody hates us, because this is what we've been doing for the last 40 years, and created this maniac, completely stupid idea that people on the other side of the planet would hate us for our freedom, and that's why they want to come and destroy us, and we haven't done anything to provoke that. That is there's no logic to that. There's absolutely no logic to that, and you have to wake up and do something about it, because if we leave this up to the corporations and the politicians, we will be in a third world war that is not a joke. We have to do something about it right now.